Okay, the $1,000,000 question for today. How do we fill out a trainer and assessor skills matrix? Because we are in the vet industry here, this is what I'll be showing you. Alright, first up, occupational health and safety. You don't want anybody injured during this class. Alright, first up, often wires around this place, so just be careful. It's the nature of any of these classrooms. Be careful not to trip. That's important. Secondly, it's flu season as well, so keep your hands clean. Try not to cough on anybody. Just don't make any others sick, okay? So I'll make sure I keep a reasonable amount of distance myself. Also,
I need to inform you that I have a chest condition, so I cough.
Sure.
But it's not contagious.
No worries. Thanks, Jane. Okay, another thing, we have people working on the roof above us. Very, very unlikely that they will fall through the roof or anything, but stay alert. And number 4, if we need to evacuate, we have an evacuation guide just on the door there, but point is, go out the door and turn left, go out the door as quickly as possible. That's the key. Okay? Are there any questions?
No.
No? No problems for OHS? Good, okay. And also ergonomics as well, just sit up straight, stand up regularly if you need to, always good. It's a bit brutal sitting all day. Okay, so OHS, sorted. Let's do this. In case of fire, we talked about that. Alright, now, you're going to be learning how to fill out a trainer and assessor skills matrix. And to make it somewhat interesting, the reason you are learning this is, for all of us in this field, is that we can keep our jobs. Our industry is very closely regulated, especially by ASQA, Australian Skills Quality Authority, and so we have to fit the standards. It also helps us ensure that we are to the right standard for our students. So yeah, there's the red box, but think of it in terms of making sure you're up to scratch for your students too. So if you realise when doing the skills matrix that you're not quite up to scratch, then you can do the relevant work with your employer to then get up to scratch. And, they want to see you succeed, they want to see us succeed. But we have to know where our strengths, our weaknesses are in order to be able to succeed and get better and better all the time. So it's annoying, believe me, it's probably one of the most brutal documents you'll ever have to fill out. But it has its worth, despite being a pain. Being in the theological industry here as well, we can offer it as a penance. So, alright, now, by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to fill out such a trainer and assessor skills matrix. Clear enough that an auditor can understand it, so you won't have to do it again. So, alright, now, I shall demonstrate. I'll talk you through what I'll show you. So, now, okay, technically I've done this one before, but I'll just show you anyway. Partly teaching you how to suck eggs, but still, common sense, fill out your name, as I'm doing here, your employer, your job title. It's basically filling out your instructions, so your start date. If you don't have it exact, you can just put an approximation, but ideally you put the exact. Now, this is an older copy. Now, if you're confused about your industry or training package, you go, ideally, you actually look up your institution and find out what courses you're teaching. That typically shows you. In this case, we're in Catholic Youth Ministry. That's our... Now this part is not actually needed for our purposes here. Useful to know what your job is. But for our purposes, we're filling out our skills matrix in terms of the courses that we're teaching and what unit of competency is aligned to what our qualifications are. So first up, you put in what your qualification is that you're teaching. The way we do that, the way I would do it, the way all of us would do it, the trainer and assessor's best friend is training.gov.au. At least this is sort of user-friendly, very simple to remember, like that. There are a lot of courses and their names are very specific, so this is very useful. So you can simply do a keyword search, that's how I would do it. So the simplest way is to look up your organisation. So Acts 2 College of Mission and Evangelisation. Now, when I click scope here, this is very useful. It tells us all about what it teaches. All of its courses, Cert 2 in Active Volunteering, Cert 3 in Catholic Youth Ministry, Cert 4, Diploma. These are accredited courses, so they take little sections from the various training packages and repurposes them into something more niche. Alright, so you simply just copy that out, like I do here, copy it out, go back to the document. Oh, wrong one. Are there any questions so far?
No.
Making sense so far?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so we'd have a name, like I did here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
From there, units of competency, okay? So we're drilling into the specifics.
So are they just the ones you teach?
Yes. For our purposes, we'll try and do the whole thing if we can, but we'll do it to time, alright? So the point is, if you're able to fill out the basic details, it shows that you're competent, and the more you can do within the time that we've got, all the better for us both. So the way we find our units of competency, we click on our course, say Cert 3 in Youth Ministry and Leadership, like that. And here we go, so you go down there to the completion mapping. So the completion mapping, here it is, just like that, tells us all the current units, develop leadership skills, all that. So you simply copy and paste all that on both pages. Make note, some units are superseded, so you don't need to put those in.
Yeah, we still teach it.
Oh?
If you still teach that unit,
Even though it's been superseded?
yes, if it's in your package, if it's in your training package, that your accredited course that you wrote, if it's a core unit and you've got no option, you have to teach it even if it's superseded, or you have to get the course changed.
I see. So, just, it's a part of the package. Okay, alright. Learned something new myself. Okay, so basically you put in all of your units here, like so.
Mm-hmm.
Alright?
Yep.
From there, like I did, I'll show you on the document. So it's a copy and paste exercise.
Yep.
The main thing to learn is how to find this stuff. Once you know how to find it, it's basic. From there, we trainers as assessors have to wear two hats here. We on the one hand wear our industry hat in what we're teaching, and our trainer and assessor hat. So we'll start with our industry hat, okay? So you put your qualifications for your industry. In my case, my degree and its approximate completion date, pretty self-explanatory. And its relationship to the course delivered. So in this case, for each unit of competency, this is pretty painstaking, one by one by one. You then show how it's relevant. You have to put in a fair bit of detail. For instance, I mentioned how I did a number of theology units and I gave the specifics here. Ideally, you'd have a copy attached. Ideally. If they're auditing, they want copies. They want evidence. They're big on evidence. Because the reason why the vet sector is so tightly regulated is because if people don't do their work properly, well, bridges fall down, youth ministers are ignorant, so it's annoying, but it's for a good purpose. So I have this qualification, you do whatever qualifications you've got, and then put in here explaining how they're relevant, like so. It's painstaking, but you just apply it one by one. I mean, the more information you put in, the better. You're covering your bases. Okay? What I did to make it easier to read is I put the qualification in red and then put the info in the black. So it's a bit less of a headache to read. So again, other courses, ideally you'd have the qualification, the actual thing, ideally. All kinds of qualifications, so degrees, any courses that you've done, be it, say with, in my case with cadets, with the church, Melkiting, being an acolyte. And then we wear the second hat, and that's the professional as a vet practitioner. So we have to do two things. We have to be both competent, which means we've done the course and done it to scratch, but then we have to be current as well, okay? If we're not current, it means, hang on, how can we trust that this guy still knows what he's doing, he or she is doing? So you've got to show that you're competent and current. And normally that would mean you have the Cert 4 in training and assessment, or else, if you're like me and you're a trainee, you'd be doing the Cert 4 and then you'd have to be working under supervision of someone who's already done the course, like that. So you show like so that you're in the industry. So this one here in the vet industry. I had another copy. So basically you'd put in your qualification. You get the idea.
Yep.
Put in your qualification. It's basically following instructions.
Mm-hmm.
The key thing you learn in here is how to find the information that you need. So we have your qualifications, and then you have to show that you're current within your industry as well. In our case, youth ministry, and so you show that you're current, like so, in my case. So providing evidence that you're current, okay? Which implies that you have to remain current through, in the vet system, there's the doing, being the lecturer, but then you've also got to see how the wider industry functions too. This is where professional development days come in. Ideally, one every 6 months to a year. That way you're seeing on the ground what's going on, be it a conference or meeting other professionals, seeing how they do things. So you're not just seeing the industry just in the past, but in the present, okay? Currency, very important. Now, we'll do an exercise before I get you to do it. So as you can see, we're subject to Australian Skills Quality Authority. Need to be both competent and current. Are there any questions so far?
No.
None so far? Okay. So demonstrate our currency, using the knowledge, using our skills, at least no later than a year passing. We have to have our qualification at least to the level of what we'll be teaching, alright?
Mm-hmm.
That's important too. And we have to be current in the industry, not just simply teaching, but also doing. Again, that's where professional development days come in. And then we have to be current as trainers and assessors. Talked about that, but it's good to just go over it again.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Our audits are regular, so be afraid. Be very afraid.
They're not too bad.
Say again?
They're not too bad.
Now, so let's go over an example. Alright, we have a guy, his name is Morton Scamsey. Now, he's got his diploma in commercial cookery, 10 years working here at Cicerello's until now, cooking fish and chips. He mentors fellow workers, cleans floors, works as a line chef, 5 years working at fine dining place until 2019 was head chef, cooked all kinds of luxury foods. He did his TAE in 2019. So let's go through this together, alright?
Yep.
So I'll talk you through it. I'll get you to think about it and you can respond to me, alright?
Mm-hmm.
So let's think of his qualifications first of all. And how would that apply? First up, let's say what course he's studying. Let's say that he's planning on teaching the Cert 3 in commercial cookery. Would that work? Could he do that?
It could. It depends. It depends on the units, I suppose, that are in the diploma, or it depends on the units in the Cert 3.
Yeah,
Potentially, although hasn't done much for a while.
Yeah, so we may have a problem there. So, in any case, on a broad level, he's at least got the qualification at least as high as what he plans to teach.
Correct, yeah.
So that's a start.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get out of that for the moment so we can analyse our Morton Scamsey.
Unfortunate name.
I invented it myself.
Yes, I know.
Alright, so we'll look up our qualification. Cert 3. Oh, forget it, we'll do the Cert 2. But the point is, we're just applying this sort of knowledge that I showed you to an abstract case.
Yep, that's fine. Yep.
So we'll do our friend Mr. Scamsey. Now, so the Cert 3, and we have all of his units that he's supposed to teach. So, what you would do, you just do it on your own sheet of paper, you can just do it on a Word document.
But surely he has electives.
Say again?
He wouldn't have to do, how many units are there? He wouldn't have to do all those units, so there must be electives, core and elective units.
I'm not quite sure. The point is, for the moment, we're just simply practicing the principle of just checking units and matching skills, whatever, to those units to just justify his existence.
So do you want me to go to training.gov.au?
Yes. Justify your existence.
And to commercial cookery, or the cookery.
In the real world, you'd have to actually take a look at his organisation that he'll actually be teaching at and what units he'll be teaching Because as we looked at, you've got a whole list of units. It's quite broad.
Okay. So there's 26 units. 7 core and 6 electives.
So from there, you'd use this information. The difficulty is there's not a huge amount of info, but basically you'd show how that Cert 3 in commercial cookery and his work experience at Cicerello's and fine dining place will be relevant. That's the general idea.
Yep, I get that, yep.
Alright. So, just to go over some of this, it's theory and prac at the same time, this little lesson here. You'll be able to do your own very shortly. But we'll notice, hang on. So you've already done this, did this well. So you look up his the course.
This is just a Cert 2.
Yep, that'll do. That's fine.
And do I just pick some electives or?
We'll just go the cores. Keep it really simple.
Core, okay, so I've got the core units, yep.
Yep.
So I've copied those.
Yep, perfect. Now, Cert 3 in commercial cookery, yep, we'll do the Cert 2, that works just fine.
This is Cert 2.
Yeah. Just any sort of course.
Yeah.
You can look up whatever institution to find its courses. Click on the course to find the units of competency, which you've done.
Yeah.
You've got it. Now show how each of them is relevant for the unit, which will take some time. So we'll just do a couple of examples, so that way we can actually get on to your work. That'll actually help you. You seem to be understanding it so far. Do you have any questions?
Well, this is a Cert 2. Are we supposed to be comparing this to the diploma that he has? Are we supposed to be showing how what he's already got
Yes.
relates to this?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it'd be ideal
So
then
do
to...
I need to then look up the diploma?
Yes.
Okay.
Normally our mate would be just filling it out himself, so we'd know just from his own head what he's done and how it's relevant.
Yeah.
But we're just using an abstract case so we can just apply these thinking and research skills.
Yeah.
So
It's not a diploma.
you're understanding the principle in any case. I can see that. I just simply thought of a course on the top of my head, but I can't actually find that it actually exists.
Yeah.
But you're understanding the
Yeah.
principle. I can see that you can. What you're doing, you're looking up the course, you're checking to see if it's relevant, and then filling in the relevant information for each little individual section. So you're understanding. You're doing well. I can see it. Right there. So do you need another example, or do you have any questions?
No, that's fine.
All right.
So in the template, then I would I would have to go through each of these and map out how if I'm that person,
Yes.
how my qualification and experience meets each of these.
Yes. And from there, you'd have to also show that he's current
Yeah,
as well.
so I've either been doing PD or working currently in a kitchen that requires me to do the things that are in this.
That's right. So
Yeah.
in this case, his 10 years working at Cicerello's until now would work.
Yeah,
His work at fine dining place, he'd certainly be competent.
but he wouldn't be current.
Yeah, not at least for that place.
So use food preparation equipment while he's cooking. So
Yeah.
preparing dishes, he's cooking.
Yep.
Work effectively in a commercial kitchen, you'd have to have a look what's
Obviously.
in it. Yeah.
Yep.
Clean kitchen premises, yep, he has to clean the floors.
You got it.
Use hygienic practices. Well, he'd have to fill
Absolutely.
out how he does that, yeah.
Yep.
Receive, store and maintain stock.
Yep, you do
And
that.
participate in safe work practices.
Yep, that'd be used already with his 10 years working at Cicerello's, even
Yeah.
if he's not current at fine dining place. I mean,
Yeah, this doesn't require him to be fine dining.
so,
Yeah.
however, we have a problem here, we may notice.
Yep.
Where is he? He did his TAE in 2019.
Yep.
But it's now 2024, so what does that imply?
Maybe his TAE, his vet knowledge and vet practices are not up to date.
Yeah, that could be a problem.
Yep.
However, you'd probably be able to remedy that. Bit of a refresher, some professional development when he starts. I mean, if you'd have to do it all over again, we'd lose a lot of trainers and assessors very quickly.
Mm.
But still, it'd be critical when he starts his job that he's given a professional development to be brought up to speed, a bit of a crash course, basically. And then, in a big way, he becomes current by then actually being in the field again. But as long as the PD is done, he's good. Alright, do you have any questions?
No, not so.
Alright, so we're just going to do a bit of OHS stuff right now, or what was the term you used?
Work health and safety, WHS.
Alright, so just stand up, stretch your legs a bit, just simply for your own health and safety here. Now quickly we'll do an example for yourself.
Okay.
Now you can do it independently. Just quickly fill out your own
Our
form.
template?
Yeah. You don't
Okay.
need to fill out the entire thing, but just enough to show that you can do it.
Okay. To find it first. Okay, got it.
Just fill out one entry for it. That way, at least it shows that you can do it for yourself.
Yeah, I'm trying to find one I haven't already done. Okay. So this is our template. And then our experience and training and PD
Mhm.
by unit.
Okay. So develop Christian spiritual life plans. Okay.
You don't me? Yeah, I can
Yeah.
do this one.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so experience, engage in spiritual development. Well,
Yep.
I have a spiritual director.
Mhm.
Prayer.
Good.
Under spiritual reading.
That'll work. We'll keep going. So yep. You could identify your experience. Good. Good.
Past training and PD. I think what to put in there. Engaged in spiritual development. I didn't do those units in my masters. Formation courses.
That's good. Keep going. You're already showing me that you can do this, so let's just do the next part. We don't need every tiny specific for this for our purposes. Just keep it just cheap and nasty.
Okay.
You're showing me the thought process, which is good.
Oh, my brain's dead. Develop an implement plan for spiritual.
That's the way. That's good. So you're showing how your experience is relevant to each of the units. Good. All right. How about your being current? Let's go down to that little bit.
Oh, that's a different template, isn't it? Yeah, we've got different templates.
That's okay. How would you show that you're current then? Just tell me what you'd say. What would you write? Just do it verbally.
Well, I engage in spiritual practices in my faith.
Sure.
Daily, weekly. Spiritual direction every, I don't know, couple of months.
Yep, like
So-
a mass, etc.
Yeah, mass,
Good.
yeah.
Yep. So you know how to do that. You'd fill that in. Good.
Yeah.
And okay, finally, how about your vet competency and currency?
So I get the ASQA newsletter, which tells me what's going on, and each month they highlight a new area that they're looking at, and then they give you teaching on that. Also, I'm registered with a PD company, and I can do online webinars.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so
Okay, you've done well. You've shown me you understand how to fill out one of these forms. You understand the thought process and what we're looking for. Jane, you've done really well.
thank you.
Okay, is there any feedback from me?
No. But at this level, no, that's fine.
No worries. I'll send you through a little feedback form. But anyway, thank you for listening. Thank you for your questions.
That's fine.
Thank you, Jane.
Okay.